What do you teach students your first day in class?
I teach several classes here at NIFA. Yeah, and I've been with NIFA for quite some time, I would say probably 12 years. So I was teaching different range of classes, anything from very specific technical to very much like hands-on practical like camera exercises, lighting exercises. And what we specifically do today here is the lighting techniques, different lighting techniques, and basically analyzing functions of each light and what each light does to the scene and how we light the face of actor using anything from one simple light bulb to 7 different lights.
What are the basics of cinematography?
Well, basic of cinematography really is writing with light, really, which is what cinematography, in the name itself, it says writing with the light. So we as cinematographers create images which are supposed to support the emotion of the story, and that basically cinematography is all about, like telling the story and creating emotional response visually.
Should a new cinematographer start with a basic camera package, or should they invest in an expensive, advanced one and learn and sort of move up the ranks that way? Absolutely, starting with the basic and essential is the key. I think in everything, and I think in every profession, in every job in the film industry specifically, because more than ever now it's so easy to get access to the cameras, which will give you a really good image and really make it so easy. You can finish everything, pretty much shoot and finish on your iPhone, which when I was starting was like science fiction, basically. So starting with a simple basic package to understand the basic principles of cinematography, anything from the framing, the composition, the lighting, is a great start. And once you understand how the old basic elements work together, then no camera will be too complicated for you. Everything will be so easy to understand. You know, if you shoot on iPhone or if you shoot with a small little Canon 5D, whatever, if you get a red Dragon or red Raptor, or if you get Venice 2, it's going to be easy. Pretty much the same principle, same elements. You're just going to have more beautiful image. Suki, what is the language of filmmaking?
Well, language of filmmaking, that's a big question. Well, as a cinematographer, for me, the language really is the emotional impact of lights and shadows. For cinematographers. For writers, obviously, it's a written word. For the actors, it's what's hidden behind the word. For the editor, what is between the shots. What's the rhythm. For director, well, pretty much everything.
Does a cinematographer need to understand story?
The most essential thing for cinematographers is understanding the story, especially if you are doing cinematography, narrative world, scripted world. Even in the documentary world, slightly different, but still, we are basically telling the story. We are storytellers. We just use different elements to tell our stories. Writers will use a word, you know. Editors will use pacing and rhythm. Actors will use their interpretation of the written word. And cinematographers will use lights, shadows, composition, movement, all these elements which are available to us as cinematographers to convey the same idea and tell the story. So for me, really, when it comes down to how the story works for cinematographer is, if you make a film, if you make anything that is visual, and if it's in a narrative world, if you're able to show this piece to anybody without sound, and people will still understand what's going on, what's the message or what's the story about, that means as a cinematographer you did a good job.
And speaking of story and what it's about, I think I've heard you say that filmmakers today are just trying to get clicks instead of actually tell a story. Can we talk about that?
Well, you know, cinematography as art form has been going through transformation like everything else. You know, we live in different times. The way we communicate visually has completely changed in the last 5 years, the last 10 years. more than anything else. So with the obviously presence of social media in our everyday life, we do communicate visually more than ever, which is kind of interesting. But we have to make distinction between what is visual communication and what is just like sending the message, which is visual. Visual storytelling for cinematographer is really, again, being able to understand the story and convey the emotion by all the elements available to you as a cinematographer. If you are just a content creator, which is unfortunately the word which is being used more and more, but content creator is not cinematographer. Not everybody who takes the picture is photographer. Not everybody who plays guitar is the musician. You might just have access to something, but at the end, it's really what you make makes somebody think about what you did. And like we have films that we have seen that stay with us for life. Then you did something. If you're doing something just for clicks, if you're doing something that will make somebody take a look, whatever visual information, visual content, I don't like that word, but that's part of present world that we live in, that particular content might be gone in 2 seconds and you'll forget about it. So we are constantly bombarded. This is obviously a big topic, but we are constantly bombarded with all the visual elements, visual little clips, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all other, whatever is available nowadays, whatever the flavor of the month is with the social media, is created actually to get you constantly stimulated with whatever visual content is. Doesn't mean that visual content has an emotional impact. Some of them, yes, they have shocking value, but that's a whole another thing. But I think we have to make clear that these two things are different and very different. Anybody can make visuals, but not every visual is art form.
You've talked to filmmakers and you've asked them why they're doing what they're doing. Why film? Why this story? When you first picked up a camera, what did you ask yourself? It is
in my particular case, it was a magic, I think, really what drew me into filmmaking. And I know exactly. I know the day when I took my first black and white picture, my image, still photography. I started still photography like most cinematographers did. So I remember I was in elementary school and I was just given like 35 millimeter camera and I was playing with this camera. I'm like, okay, now that's what it is. You point, you should press the button and something will happen. So I remember going to the darkroom, exposing this piece of negative and looking in the chemical, in the tray as the piece of paper all of a sudden started becoming alive. And this piece of paper became a picture, became image, which I actually still have at home. So to me, that was magic, really, in a pure form, magic. Maybe at that point, maybe in that stage in my life, on everything, to me, that was a magic that really caught me and said, I want to do something about this because this is really, really so much to learn, so much to explore. And then later on, as I made a very conscious decision to dedicate my life to images, still photography as well as the motion pictures. The best thing what I found about it, there's always magic to it. There's always excitement to it. And I don't think many professions are out there that can give you that kind of level of excitement and uncertainty that you have when you're doing what I'm doing or what we as cinematographers do. The ability to act on the moment, react in a moment, make decisions in a moment, not know what you're doing in a moment. The big mystery about it is we might look like we know what we're doing, but this is art. There's no formula. You saw it now when we're doing let's see what happens. The best thing about what we do is let's see what happens. And you put the light, you pan the light and oh my God, that looks interesting. There's no way I would know what would happen. No way, I don't know. But I can maybe try to see what would happen if we put the 5K behind the wall and
pan it to the lens and I have some kind of, filter on the lens or something, all of a sudden the light becomes alive. To me, that's magic. And you just witnessed it like 10 minutes ago.